Have you ever wanted to make a perfect pie crust? It's the easiest thing in the world. Takes about 10 minutes from start to finish and 17 minutes to bake. And that is because of the 431D3 recipe. Now this is also going to be at the end of the video will be a tagline that you can get a written narrative and more photographs of how to make this at thetroutdoc.com. So let's see how fast we can make the perfect pie crust, the 431D3. The first step to making 431D3 pie crust is to weigh out the flour. It's very simple. To get 153, 4, 5. That's how precise you can get it. Once we have our flour measured out, we can put it into our little processor. And that's 5 3/8 ounces, or approximately 1 1/3 cup of flour. We're going to add an optional 2 tablespoons of sugar for browning, because this is a dessert crust. And we're going to add our salt. We're going to use sea salt, and we just use a tablespoonful. Once we get the dry ingredients mixed, we want to just mix the dry ingredients. Now we can add 4 tablespoons of our Crisco. This is going to allow us to encapsulate the flour so that it cannot form gluten. After we have the Crisco incorporated, we can use 3 tablespoons of unsalted or salted butter. Once we have the Crisco and butter incorporated into the flour mixture, we empty it into a bowl before adding the tap water. Come up and plain old tap water, 3 big tablespoonfuls, and I'm going to put just a little more because it's still got Crisco in that thing, and just stir it around and just get it wet, get the particles wet, and it's coming together. As you can see, it just makes a fine dough right here before your eyes. This is for 1 pie crust. You want it double crust, make 2 batches. But this is what it looks like when it comes together, and that's how quickly it comes together. Okay, we put our water in, and here we go. We're going to just mix up our dough into the palatable mass. I've got my 2 boards down here. I've got the large cutting board and my plastic sheet. I'm just going to flour the plastic sheet and gather the dough. And I don't have to be too gentle with it. And it's really pliable. And I just roll that around. And basically all you have to do is just sort of clump it together. It's a nice pliable dough. And you could put this in the refrigerator at this time, clean up some of the other clutter around, but I just like to roll it out right immediately because it's easiest to roll out when it's just like this. And I'm forming the sides and forming a little thing. I'm going to roll it out to the edges here. I'm going to put this in the center, put a little flour on top, got flour on bottom, and just roll it in 12 directions. Okay, one direction, 30 degrees. This was doing 30 degrees. Another 30 degrees. This goes 90 degrees. Light pressure. There's 150 degrees. That's been rolled out in 12 directions. Okay. Now it's sticking a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to work it loose from the thing. I'm going to put some flour on it. Okay, I'm going to flip it. Okay, get it back into the center of my board here. Put some more little flour on top. Now if this thing falls apart, I can re-roll it. There's my 12 inches, 30 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to work the circle. Just absolutely. There we go. Okay, and just a little bit if I need to correct a little bit of the circle here. Just roll around the edges. And that's going to make that. I'll find a pastry brush. And just wipe off the excess. We'll mend the edges one more little time here. But there it is. That's the length of the 12 inches. And I know that's going to fit my pie pan. I get my pie pan, place it exactly in the center. It's a little long on this side and a little long on this side. I can correct that by just simply rolling a little bit here. Keep it right. And there we are. We're right in the center of it. Just flip it over and just peel it off. Comes off very easily. Then I just ease this into the pan. Okay, and if I'm shy a little bit on one side, I'm going to just take up and make a sort of fold up that edge and make me a good little rim here. And that'll help me there on. It's a little thin there. Little thin there. Cut it with my finger. And this, I can just take and add some right here. And you don't have to worry about this getting tough because this is not going to form gluten. And let's see what else I can do to this. Okay, yeah, got a little thin place here. Take just a little bit, cap it over and cap it down. And this is just setting right up on the rim of my pie pan. And it's looking pretty good. Little tears in there, let it settle down. There's a little thin spot right here. Take just a little of that and just smash it in. You can wet that with water if you need to. Make it stick. But usually, if you roll it out immediately, you don't need to do that. There you go. There is the pie crust. And we want to flute the edges. And to do that, I just use my fingers. Come in and flute the edges. But a lot of people say, gee, you have to roll it 12 ways. Well, you just saw me roll it 12 ways. And it's very easy. It's very pliable when you don't refrigerate it or make it with ice water. And there is your pie crust. You want to blind bake it. This is docking it. Make sure you get enough little dock marks in there. Do it on the side. And you don't have to worry about the putting beans or marbles or anything in this, because this pie crust is not going to shrink that much, and you don't end up with a lot of waste. I should have probably, if I'd have rolled that out just perfectly, that would have been in the pie crust. But that's not much waste. Now we've set the oven to 425 degrees. While we're waiting, we can put the pie crust into the freezer just to firm it up a little bit. If that's necessary, we can just let it sit on the counter and wait for the oven to heat up. But we want to bake this at 425 degrees for at least 17 minutes. We do not need marbles, beans, tinfoil, or anything, because this is properly docked and we've brushed away all the excess flour, and we can sort of cramp it up as much as you want to, but it's ready to be pre-baked or to fill with pumpkin pie, or you can make a apple pie if you wanted to make another crust, or you can make a single crust apple pie. And you could even make a quiche if you wanted to out of this. But that is our thing, and we'll put it in the oven and we'll see it come out here in just a minute. Now we've cleaned up the kitchen, and the time that it took for the oven to preheat, we'll put this in and let it bake for 17 minutes at 425 degrees. When the timer hits 12 minutes, it's been in the oven for about 5 minutes, and I usually check to see whether I've got it docked enough, but that is baking just beautifully, and it has 12 more minutes to go, and it'll be ready to take out and cool. Our pie crust is done. The timer's gone off. We're going to open it and see what we got. There it is. All baked up and beautiful. Pie crust hadn't really shrank. And it's good golden brown color and ready for some dessert, to make a dessert. And I don't know why that so many people make it so difficult to make a pie crust. Christopher Kimball and all his crew, and Rose Levy and Julia Childs, all those people just seem to make it so doggone complicated that you would never make a pie crust on your own. And it is the simplest thing in the world if you just don't sweat it. And you can make a pie crust that doesn't shrink, that's the right size, and that's the 431D3 pie crust, which is the world's most perfect pie crust.